energetic Savi ma'am, which we are waiting. Our executive director, Mr. Sarvesh Srinivasan sir. Our esteemed panel of judges includes Sharbanu ma'am, Sarvesh sir. And of course, a very warm welcome to our parents, fellow mentors, and all Gear Cups gathered here. Sharbanu ma'am, Sarvesh sir will be our judges for today. Your expertise, insights, and contributions will undoubtedly enrich our discussion and provide valuable perspectives.
We also have the previous year's remarkable winners, Shaurya Dara and Pranav Verma. We invite you to share your experience and join the panel, starting with Pranav, followed by Shaurya.
Hello everyone, my name is Pranav. I won the MNL panel 2 years ago. To me, MNL was an opportunity or an excuse to understand my scientific capabilities and apply them to the real world, to any project that I wanted to do. Usually in school we learn about scientific concepts, but then MNL offered me an opportunity to apply this to the real world into any project I want to, and for that I'd like to thank this program.
Good morning and namaste to everyone. My name is Shaurya Dara and I won MNL last year. And for me, MNL was Eric Connor's Most Promising Science Scholar Award was a place where I learned to think. Because most usually in school we just like learn. We don't really learn. We just memorize, and we're aiming to change that, but change is slow. So this is one of the platforms where I learned to think for myself. And how we understand the universe in each person's perspective. And to anyone who dares join science, I give them one principle from my favorite scientist, Richard Feynman. Don't fool yourself because you're the easiest person to fool. Thank you.
Thank you, Pranav and Shaurya. And now let us shine the spotlight on today's star, our 9 young panelists from grade 5 to 8. Each of these students have shown exemplary academic progress, a scientific mindset, and a passion for innovation. They have successfully navigated the preliminary rounds to earn a place in this discussion. These rounds include questionnaire rounds carrying 20% weightage, project presentation carrying 40% weightage. The final 40% will be based on the performance in the ongoing panel discussion. Before we start, I would like to share a few guidelines. Chits will be used to decide who will speak. For each question, an initial time of 30 seconds will be given to brainstorm. Each panelist will be given 1 minute time to answer. After a minute, there will be a cue given in the form of a bell. A buffer 10 to 15 seconds can be taken. As I call each panelist to the stage, please introduce yourselves and share a brief insight into your project. Then kindly take your designated seat. Firstly, I would like to call Apratim from grade 5.
Namaste, my name is Apratim. I study in class 5M and my project was a mini biogas generator that you can use in a home to make gas. You can there are two benefits of this. One is that you can get gas from it reduces the dependency of gas like fossil fuels and the energy shortage, and two, you don't have to pay the gas bill. Thank you.
Next, Anvit Agarwal from grade 5.
Namaste, my name is Anvit and I have made a maglev train which aims to reduce pollution. It can also be used to transport goods and is better for the environment.
Brishti Sharma from grade 6.
Namaste everyone, my name is Brishti. I'm from 6K. My project is all about sustainability by making the current rainwater harvesting system more efficient by using my special drainage system, which aims to collect all the rainwater that falls on the roads and pavements.
Samaarth Bhat from grade 6.
Namaste, my name is Samaarth Bhat. I study in class 6M and I created a safe hiking stick which can be used for adventurers to make the area a safer place.
Tvisha Jain from grade 7.
Namaste, my name is Tvisha Jain. My project was Adaptiglow. It's an automatic light intensity controller. It controls the intensity of indoor lighting depending on the amount of sunlight or ambient light using sensors like the light dependent resistor and IR sensors which help sense the light and the proximity of any object.
Ewan Mittal from grade 7.
Good morning everyone, my name is Avyan and my project is called Plastic to Fuel, a Green Solution. My project tackles two big problems, plastic waste and energy shortage. My model is based on a process called pyrolysis. In pyrolysis, plastic is heated at high temperatures in the absence of oxygen, breaking it down into vapors. These vapors will then pass through a pipe into a cooling system where they will condense into fuel. To heat the airtight chamber in an eco-friendly manner, I first thought of using photovoltaic cells, but since they were less efficient, I decided to use a Fresnel lens to directly concentrate the sunlight onto the chamber.
Ewan from grade 7.
Namaste everyone, my name is Ewan and I study in class 7 Kailash. My project for this year's MNL is a plasma speaker, which is a unique device that generates sound by using a vibrating arc of ionized gas instead of a traditional speaker cone. Thank you.
Just Kothari from grade 8.
Namaste, my name is Jas. I study in class 8 Bhagirathi. My project is Mayday. It is a real-time emergency trigger data uplink system for planes. It uses inputs like pitch, bank, g-forces and acceleration to figure out the anomalies in the flight and automatically transfer the data to the ground station such that data is not lost. Thank you.
Mudith Itla from grade 8.
Namaste, my name is Mudith and my project for MNL is Project SHR. This project aims to prevent potholes from forming on roads. This can prevent more than 4,000 fatalities in a year. And this project uses three systems, two resin-based systems and one system which uses bacteria and properties of bacteria such as microbially induced calcite precipitation.
In these brilliant young minds lies the potential to change the world. They embody a truth once expressed by Carl Sagan. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. With this thought, I would like to invite Chairman Sir to open today's discussion. Let the exploration begin.
Namaste, and it's nice to see all weaving with ideas. I think we have come a long way in understanding science because of competitions like that, including the two children who are participating in celebration of NEP in Delhi right now. Come to the idea of science. I think it is not that you think of science when you want to think of science. If you are really curious, there should be a question always working on your brains without any stop. You may change your topic, but there should be something going on all the time. That means your brain becomes a perennial laboratory. Then you'll hit something or the other. More it will be questions than answers. Once you have a question, you have a Nobel Prize with you. Okay? Now with that, let's come to a question to have the starting round. Okay, this is a simple round. I think you have 15 seconds to think after the question is posed. Now, let's say there are 4 individuals standing in front of you, and one of them is a scientist. 3 or not. You have to ask them one question, which all of them will answer in turn. Finally, you have to decide who is the scientist by your question. Did you get it clearly? Anybody with a doubt? There are 4 standing in front of you. You have to pose one question, and with that answer they give you, you have to decide who is the scientist and who are not scientists. Obviously, if you understand who is the scientist, the other 3 are not. They may be artists or athlete or writers or whatever is the case. Yes, I want you to write the question down. So go ahead. Think and write.
Shall we start, sir?
Okay. Now we'll start listening to your questions.
So I think a possible question that we can pose is, how do they understand research, and what is the main?
No. You have to ask that person a question, not how do they understand research. Would you ask? How do you understand research? That's the question you will ask?
Yes, sir.
It's a direct question. Okay.
What do you think the main factor that characterizes research is? So I believe that a person who truly understands science will understand that research is about asking questions and trying to find answers for them. They would dig deeper into every answer they find until they are satisfied and ask more questions. So I think this is the main factor that would characterize the scientist and make him stand out from the other two.
Samaarth.
I would most likely ask them, what do you define as science? Like, what do you understand by this? A real scientist will say, science isn't just about chemicals, finding out new things, but it's about researching and discovering. It's about the human creativity and how it can be used for a force for good. My question is, can you tell how do rockets work? I think that would be good because the other 2 people mostly would not know that, as they are not scientists. And the scientist will be able to tell us as he will research into rockets or like how they work. Yeah.
You read a lot about rockets?
Yeah.
How do they work?
They work using propelling it with a lot of firepower.
Okay.
Ewan.
If I was faced with 4 people in front of me and I had to decide who would be the scientist, my question would be, how would you solve a problem such as global warming? Or how would you try to explore unseen areas such as the ocean or space? And if their answer was in depth and it used like a lot of scientific concepts, and it told how exactly would you do it properly in a scientific way, then I would be able to determine if they were the scientists or not. And the other people who might have given vague answers or answers that weren't so in depth would not be the scientists.
Tvisha. So my question would be similar to Samaarth. I would ask them what exactly do they understand by the word science, because the scientist would understand that science is not just about certain topics or subjects. It's more about delving into the depth of things and asking questions that most people would not expect to know. Avyan.
I would ask them what they would find most exciting in science, or what brought them to this point where was it like curiosity, their ability to ask questions. And based on their answer, it would be very clear on how they would answer based on the science terms.
Brishti.
So my question would be, how does science help you in the career? What I would ask the four people, how does science help you in the career or field you work in, and what would happen if science was not there? And like how Tvisha and Samaarth said, science is not just about like doing mixing chemicals to form something else. It's about research, curiosity, asking questions. And like since my question is a bit direct, I can understand like what their career is, and then which one of them is a scientist. Like the person who gave the best answer of like how science helps them.
Apratim.
I would ask, if you were a scientist, what did you discover or create and why? I'm not just asking what would they discover or create, I'm asking why. They might say that I would like to discover a new chemical or a new compound or whatever, but the scientist, he would say something more direct and more ethical, like I would make I would like make a machine out of some principle that can be used for the betterment of the world. Then I would know that he's a scientist.
GIIS.
I would ask them, what do you think brought humans here? Because like someone who doesn't have a very in-depth scientific knowledge, they would probably state, oh, humans were smarter than the other creatures. But a person with scientific temperament who would ask questions, they would probably state something with more detail, with something with more something like, suppose they could probably answer like, oh, humans had more neurons compared to their body weight. So suppose, but then I could counter with, oh, but some birds have even higher body weight ratio. So the asking ability of a person to counter a question can show how they approach science and how they understand what science is, and how to solve a problem or a question.
Okay. I think you talked about ethics. For scientists, they don't think of ethics. The people who use science or use the discoveries, they have to think about ethics. But in application, you think about ethics, not in researches. They don't know where it will be used, how it will be used, and in fact, they are not supposed to be responsible for that. They are supposed to invent something, discover something, bring in new ideas. That is their business. A good answer by all of you. Also remember, there is something called idiosyncrasy. You understand the word? A person will have a behavior which is typical of that person. You meet a doctor, he will speak in a way. You meet a teacher, she will speak in a way. You meet a lawyer, he will speak in a way. So they become typified. They become typically one type. I would like that whatever you become, don't be a typical person of that profession or area. You got the point? You be a scientist, but scientist doesn't need to be only talking to people who understand them. You should be able to talk to everybody. Like, I would like to give the example of Einstein. Though he was a great scientist, he was able to talk to children, he was able to teach music, he understood humanity, and he had his own principles. He was not, his hands may be revealing something, but his personality was something different. So I would like you working on having a comprehensively humane personality, but you can be doing whatever you like. Okay, thank you. Avyan, you'd like to add something?
Namaste everybody. When sir asked the first question, I also thought I would try and attempt answering it from your shoes. So I did put on a few answers. Just sort of let you in on how I was been thinking. Most of you did answer a few of the options, but here are some that I felt could also have been answered. Like a simple direct question can be to understand the daily schedule of each of the four people, to understand what they do the whole day. That I thought was a little bit cheating, but you'll get to know what they're doing. What have you studied was a more direct question as to understand what they've actually studied and what they've actually earned a degree in. But sometimes you might find scientists who are not actually gone down that path. And one question that I didn't, most of them you've already answered as scientists that you are, was I think Brishti did similar question was what keeps you up at night? Was a simple question I thought could have been asked to understand what's really on their minds that they're really thinking about to solve. So it can be if they're a lawyer or if they're an athlete or if they're a teacher, they'll have different things that keeping them up at night. But a scientist will share what really is the problem they're looking at. So just a side note. So my question, outside I take a leaf out what Sir just said about ethics and not being a typical scientist is you've all done your projects, you've done your written rounds, and through this entire process, I would like to understand what is it that you've learned from each other, or from the feedback or response you've got from your teachers or parents or guides, for your projects or for what you've been presented or the answers you've given, because science is also a collaborative kind of a field where you need to reach out and understand each a different person's perspective. So I'd like to hear from each one of you as to what have you learned through the process that surprised you from anybody else's submissions or presentation or even feedback that you got from your parents or teachers. Any doubts on my question? Okay. Thank you.
So does it have to be something we have learned from our own project or only from others?
Okay, you can add your own project as well. But I would like to hear if you don't have anything from others, then you can go to your own project.
No, we can take.
But when you can add what you learned from your project at the end. So don't leave that out.
Just.
So what I learned from, so I was very interested in Nivam's project. His project was the plasma speaker. So while I was thinking about his project, he bought one specific component, a DC to DC converter that turns low voltage into extremely high voltages. I was wondering as to how that worked, and the more I looked into it, I found one component that stood out: the inductor. The inductor is a component that takes in that likes to keep a stable current, but it does it by varying the voltage. It's similar to a battery. A battery wants a stable voltage, and it keeps a stable voltage by varying the current in the circuit. So when the current is quickly brought down, it quickly outputs a high voltage that is used in his circuit to generate the plasma. What I learned from my project was a simple thing as a tilt detection. you require very complex, for me it's quite complex, physics phenomena called gyroscopic precession, which where the object spins and the tilt causes a torque to be added such that that's detected.
Brishti. So by looking at other people's project, like for example Tvisha's project, even though it was not a very big project, it was like a small project, but it was very neat, very efficient. It was like a very good idea of hers, and I learned that I could have made my project like more depictable, sort of. Like I could have made it more neater, or like a very simple one, but a simple project which explains a lot. And from my project, I learned like many teachers gave me advice on it. Since mine is it's related to rainwater harvesting, on how I can make my project more sustainable, even more sustainable. And even my parents, they guided me throughout the full project, the whole journey. Like they also gave me advice, like how I could have made my project more, yeah, like almost the similar advice as the teachers, how could I made it more sustainable.
Avyan.
I really liked Mudith's project about the way he thought of the potholes and how you could instantly cure them with the bacteria. And I mainly liked everyone's project because it was very impressive. But when I saw Justice project, even I was like shocked. How do you even make such a thing which has not been made until now? With so much coding, so much so that even if you just say a word, you can see it on your screen. And what I learned from my project mainly would be about the electromagnetic spectrum. It's like when you see a rainbow, you can see only the visible light. But there are so many other aspects like infrared, UV rays, gamma rays, radio waves, X-rays. All of these still help us now with the Wi-Fi and GPS.
Tvisha.
Things I learned from other people's project was that everyone basically focused on how our project can be more helpful for the future and how it can help in sustainability. I really like this as it helps our environment as well as makes our project more futuristic. So I try to incorporate this in my own project, and I found that it makes my project even more. It makes my project better in multiple ways. Some things I learned from my own project was that we can we can find small ways to save our earth, conserving electricity or energy or gas. Yeah.
I believe everyone's MNL project was pretty impressive and everyone had their own individual strengths. But there were two particular projects that stood out to me the most, and those were Avyan and GIIS projects. Avyan's project explored multiple ways to create renewable energy. At first, he used photovoltaic cells, but then he switched to a Fresnel lens to ensure there's more concentration of sunlight. This is very impressive as he could make last minute changes as well. From GIIS project, I learned how many simple factors that we tend to oversee sometimes when we are riding planes. For example, we never know what tilt the plane is, sometimes we miss the altitude of the plane, and we miss something so simple on how a black box has never been actually uploaded to a cloud to be saved. From my project, I believe I learned a lot. For example, something so simple like when you're embedding something under a road in which a lot of cars or a lot of vehicles pass on, there would be a lot of pressure. And how does that affect something that's embedded under the road? I also learned about various bacteria and how to spore suspend them. That means to ensure that they stay dormant until they are reacted by atmospheric quantities. So I learned a lot from everyone's projects, and I believe I'll continue doing that. Thank you.
Samaarth.
So personally, I loved everyone's project, but the one that stood out to me the most is probably Anvit's project. So basically, in Anvit's project, he created this maglev train using permanent magnets, which is a bold thing to do because traditional maglev trains use electromagnets. One thing he taught me was to bounce back stronger. I know it's not exactly the most unique thing, but it was an important thing to me. His magnets kept on getting messed up, but he didn't get a tinge frustrated and kept on going forward. So this, I think, everyone needs to have this quality of going forward unfazed by whatever happens.
Apratim.
As Avyan said, I liked everyone's project, and I won't say like I liked only one project. I liked everyone's, and I got to learn many things. Like from Alves, I learned I like magnets, magnetic propulsion, and maglev. Then also from Samaarth, I learned about dynamo. I didn't even know. Then from Mudith, I learned about like the bacteria. So I learned a lot of stuff. So I think this is actually a chance for me to learn and like innovate. So next time if I get selected again, I'll innovate these things just to make my project better. And that wraps up my point. Thank you.
Anvit.
So I liked all the projects, but I think that in Apratim's project, if I included a biomass generator in my train to make it fuel run, I could make it run faster and be magnetic propelled using renewable energy so that this way it would run much faster than usual and be renewable without without making any pollution. So that way, and also from my project, I learned like balance of forces because I couldn't put more magnets in one place, more magnets in, less magnets in another place, and I had to like keep them in the straight line and neat. That way, it would not go haywire and just like flip off.
Ewan.
I think that everyone in MNL's projects was really impressive, and since most of them were in different fields, I learned a lot from all of them. But I think the one of the projects I learned the most from and I found really interesting was Avyan's project. It was really fascinating that one of our world's biggest problem, which is plastic waste, could be converted into something so useful, which is used almost every day in many vehicles, like diesel or other fuels. So, and from my own project, I used it to learn much more than I already knew about high voltage physics and things like sound generation.
Wonderful. You can all give a big hand to them. I think two things. One is called a scientific deployment. Whatever you are, you should have this. Coming to your topics, you also should keep a watch on what's happening right now. Right now in India, the plan is to make highways where you can charge the cars as you drive. How many of you know this? Any of you know this? Okay. What do you know of this?
So like recently, the National Highways Authority of India realized the problem that many people use cars, but then if you miss a petrol bunk, especially on the highway, it causes a lot of problems. So they're working on a technology where as you drive, the cars gets fueled by the friction and also this sort of like wires underneath, but it's just a work in progress.
Actually, it's not because of you missing fuel stations. It's to encourage EVs. electric vehicles. And also, it may be worth noting that electric vehicles are not the future. What's going to be the future? Hydrogen powered vehicles. We may study more about it because that is more or less going to be the future because there are a lot of problems with electric vehicles. But still, for us as science students, you can study both. What happens or what would be the impediment if you are looking at charging your cars as you drive? How long will it persist? Because right now in the whole world, enthusiasm on electric vehicles have gone down. You may study and understand something better. My point to mention this is to say you should keep an eye on the current happenings. What's happening in the space, in aeronautics, in railways? It's not a big thing. You just need to have an ear for that. Okay. Next, let's see, Sardan ma'am, would you like to ask something?
Namaste all of you. First of all, congratulations to since you made to this panel discussion. So my question is just a continuation of what Sir asked right now. So Sir was talking about the electric vehicles, right? So that is a solution to a problem that we are facing right now. So we can talk about pollution. So you know that today the world is facing many serious challenges or problems, right? So you choose one problem or challenges that concerns you the most and what is a basic reason for that or what is the root cause of that problem that concerns you. And you all are young scientists now because you have done wonderful projects, right? So think like young scientists and come up with a solution that will help the humanity to solve this problem or overcome that challenge. Is it clear? Do you want me to repeat the question? Yes? Okay. So today the world is facing many serious problems, right, or challenges. So, and we are finding solutions for it as well. Like one sir mentioned, it is an electric vehicle. So that is a solution to the pollution that is causing right now. So I want you to choose any one problem that concerns you the most, right? And what is the basic reason or the root cause of that problem? And think like young scientists and then come up with a solution to overcome that challenge or the problem, whatever you have thought of. Got it?
I think that one of the major problems is there now is plastics and microplastics and how we dispose them. So currently there was a study recently done that found out that there are microplastics, the amount of microplastic is increasing by a huge amount and even now it's not just tiny pieces in the soil and in water. Now microplastics have become so tiny and so spreadable that they've even started floating around on wind and are decreasing our air quality and can also cause problems with breathing. And these and microplastics also can end up in the food that we eat and also are killing a lot of other a lot of other creatures that live in aquatic environments. So they're formed by when plastic gets eroded over time and we need to find a way to filter them out of our environment.
Since you mentioned microplastics, I want to warn all of you, it has reached our blood. And that means, you know what? It has reached your brains. So we have issues arising out of that, and it's going to be a very serious issue. So it's your generation who is going to find solutions. Okay? Think of it, just know more about it, medically, environmentally, socially, how we are going to find solutions. I think all of you need to, when I say all of you, not only the young scientists, you all should think about it because it's a real life-threatening problem. Okay, thank you.
I think that one common problem is the rise of many biological diseases or pathogens. For example, recently we all know about the COVID pandemic. This rose because of humans' lust. Though the origin is very uh, debatable and very conflicted. There are a few rumors that it has arisen due to bats, and now I think this is one of the ways that we can say that we've lost our core values. So if we keep our core values, this is the root cause. If we us losing our core values is the root cause of all these problems. And I think if we keep our core values and keep asking questions, and like how we decrease the amount of time to heal pandemics from the past till now, we can continue to do the same and tackle any obstacles that come in our way. Thank you.
Tvisha, Jain.
One problem that really concerns me is cancer. So I find it like I'm concerned because cancer causes a lot of deaths, and I really don't like it when people die due to any sort of illness. So there is no known cure for cancer yet, but I read somewhere that there is at the depths of the ocean they have found a bacteria that is capable of killing cancer cells. So I'm pretty sure that scientists will work more on this, and I'm going to see if I'm going to follow up on this and see if there's any cure that's going to come out for cancer in the future.
Actually, you don't need to wait for scientists to do. You can start working from today. Okay?
Apratim.
In my opinion, there's a really serious problem that we all overlook, and that is space junk. Space junk is basically junk in the atmosphere that is like suspended from like broken down satellites or leftover tools from astronauts. This is very serious as like I think this year March when in Japan one person was walking in a park and then a piece of metal almost hit him. So like if he was a little more closer then he would have actually died. And also if you must know there was the most dangerous object in the space is actually a glove that was lost by an astronaut. It moves so fast that it can break your bones. So in my opinion, I think what we can do is we can make space shuttles like those which can those are like unmanned or like driven by AI. We can put the we can store the garbage inside them and then we can return them safely back to Earth. And that wraps up my point.
Anvit, Agarwal.
So I think that the biggest problem is air pollution. Air pollution can slowly clog our lungs, and our best way to stop it is using renewable energy. And I think that when factories where the carbon dioxide comes out from, they can put some very light turbines that are light enough to get pushed by carbon dioxide to create energy. And these will be helpful as we can use them to reduce our carbon dioxide emissions by half. That's
Avyan, Mittal.
So, ma'am and sir had both mentioned the use of electric cars. Now, that does stop pollution, but does mining elements like lithium, is that good? It releases a lot of carbon dioxide. And I feel like the problem right now is the carbon footprint. And just one flight from Bangalore to London, it's like 1,200 kgs of carbon per passenger. And carbon dioxide so much is really not good, and they can also melt glaciers.
Kothari.
So there is a less known problem. It's called PFAS. So it's made during the process of making Teflon or PTFE, polytetrafluoroethylene. So it's not a very well known problem as like suppose plastics or air pollution, but it's a very concerning one. So a few years ago, there was a very big legal case going against DuPont, the manufacturer and the creator of this substance, because they were releasing a chemical called C8, which was used in the production of Teflon, and this was coming into a farm, and then it was the cows which were present in the farm. They were drinking this water, and there was a lot of foam in the water, which was very concerning. So these cows developed very disheartening diseases, and these PFASs are known to be a carcinogen. And the worst thing is that it's being used everywhere. Teflon is on your raincoats, it's on your pants, it's and you can't really stop using it. It's very inert and it's very useful. So we have to slowly phase out for safer substances.
Brishti Sharma.
So the problem that concerns me the most is climate change. Climate change is basically the global warming that's happening, and the root cause of it is pollution. Humans, even though people have raised awareness, people just ignore it. We learn in school, okay, we should not pollute, but then anybody really follow it? I don't think so. The root cause of it, like I said, is pollution, and people have been like trying to solve it. Like they have been using renewable energy. There are like for water pollution, there are many I saw this water cleaner that is like it helps clean water. It's like a robotic slide that it rotates, it collects all the waste in water. And then one of the main problem, like how Anvit said, is air pollution. Um, Air pollution also is mainly it's caused by like harmful pollutants released by factories, cars, and people have been making like filtration devices to control these harmful gases released, pollutants. And I also read somewhere that the greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere, people are designing like a special jet that when it just orbits the earth and it just collects all the gases to stop pollution.
Samaarth.
So, in my understanding, the most concerning environmental problem caused by humans is global warming. It's just one thing, but it can have many outcomes, like melting of glaciers, the threat to humans, etc. So, I'm not sure a lot of you know about this, but recently there was a satellite released in a collaboration between NASA and ISRO. So, basically, its job is to monitor climate change, natural calamities, and anything that's mainly environmental threat to humans. So basically, I believe that this can actually help humans monitor which fields do we need to work on to eradicate these problems. So obviously, the most concerning thing in the cause of all the pollution is usually just humans. So what we need to do is find a sustainable way of doing things differently. Like for example, as Sir said, we can use hydrogen fuel cell cars, and there's obviously nuclear energy, nuclear fusion, nuclear fission. But unfortunately, nuclear fission is quite risky and it's not set to come out until 2050. So all we can do right now is try to prevent anything that we might be causing. Even the smallest things can have a big impact.
Okay, so it's nice to hear that you're all going to be engaged with scientific thinking and solving problems. How many of you know that India is the biggest exporter of refined fuel as of today? How many of you know? India is the biggest exporter of oil. Can you believe that? Why am I talking about it? Scientists and the people in general should find a solution to a problem by which you create more value. We solve a problem, that means you are getting rid of a problem as well as you are creating value. When Ukraine war started, Russia faced a ban, sanction. But India refused to listen to that. We started importing more of crude oil, refine it, and we are exporting to the very same Europe, which said they will not take oil from Russia. What happened to us? We have earned a huge amount of foreign currency. So, I think this is one of the biggest examples we can have where you can find an opportunity in a problem or a crisis. And the amount of money we have saved is phenomenal. If we are able to spend without any worry in Operation Sindoor, it's because of activities like that. It didn't affect us, but it has helped us. Same way, in science, you can create something new by solving something which is bothering you. Keep that in mind. You don't need to do that all the time, but that is one of the ways you can engage in positive contribution to the society. Okay? Now let's go to a question from our not that young scientist, little 1 year older scientist.
Okay, so before I come to my question, you guys, many of you panelists have talked about climate change and how it will affect the planet and we will all be extinct. I'm sorry to say, but humanity does not and will not ever have the power to destroy the entire planet because the Permian extinction that we have seen past 250 million years ago, actually 3 billion years ago, was more devastating than anything in the human history we have seen combined. Like, whatever we try to do to save or to destroy the planet, if you're intentionally doing it also, there'll always be some life, something that will be hidden under the soil. But the only thing we can do is to try to save ourselves. We have the power for that. But coming back to my question, what do you think the ocean holds as a value to us? Like, many people talk about space. Like, there's a lot of craze about space. Like, space has this. We might be able to find new types of energy. But what do you think the ocean has to hold value for us? Because there have been more people to the moon than there have been people to the Mariana Trench. For all we could know, there could be water-breathing squirrels down there. And do you know that the bigger an animal is, the more chance it has of becoming carcinogenic, like blue whales. But the more chance it has to defend that. Because blue whales and elephants, blue whales especially, have their immune system trained to kill cancer cells. So what do you think the ocean and its constituents have a value to us as a whole?
You got this question?
Apratim.
In my opinion, I think that we should actually explore the ocean because all of us are actually exploring like the space. We are going looking for like exoplanets like Planet X, but we haven't even we haven't much looked at the ocean. We should actually look there. Like before, nobody even knew there was a creature called the anglerfish in the ocean. Only when people went in, they saw that there was something called an anglerfish. Like that also, nobody much knew about the megalodon until people found the shark fossil. So like that, there might be more creatures that can like help us understand the past. There might be creatures we don't even know about. Like as you said, there might be water-breathing squirrels or something of that sort. And yeah, so we should explore and see if we can find anything more because the ocean is as diverse as space, as I believe. And that wraps up my point. Thank you.
Just to like slightly rephrase, like how does it hold a value to our future? Not really how we learn. Like how can it help? For example, there is a lot of high pressure, so using that maybe we could find something related to us. How does it hold value to our future?
We can like
Avyan, Mittal.
I feel like the sea exploration is very important, but the main reason we have not even tried to do that yet is because we humans we probably think that we already know everything about the ocean. It's water. But there can be many valuable materials also down there that we don't know about. So I believe that we should definitely try to go. We can make something which will help us go even faster. So it can be very useful to us.
Tvisha, Jain.
I would like to add. I would like to add on to Avyan's point. I agree that there could be. I agree there could be multiple. There could be multiple new scientific discoveries at the bottom of the ocean, because we humans do think we know everything about it, but with depth, the creatures that live there and the bacteria we find can change. So just like we found the bacteria that may kill cancer cells, we may find more things that will help save our civilization as well as contribute to our future.
Samaarth.
Um, so obviously us being humans, it means we always want to discover and innovate. So now we know more about the face of the moon than we do about the bottom of the ocean. So maybe it holds something that may surprise us. So for example, we can use volcanic vents to generate electricity. You never know. And as she said, it can also hold the cure for cancer, etc. So basically, what humans can do is they can embrace the unknown. A scientist is a person who embraces the unknown and finds a better way of doing things that already exist. So I'm not sure about this, but I think ISRO launched one mission, Samudra, and it's kind of out of their field, but they launched this mission to discover the depths of the ocean. And as Shaurya said, that we know more people have been on the moon than at the bottom of the man in our generation.
Brishti, Sharma.
So, as most people said, people have explored more about the moon than they have explored about the sea. People think that okay, sea is like not a very interesting place. We may not find anything there, but who knows? Maybe a person nobody's ever been to the people have, but nobody's really discovered anything in the Bermuda Triangle. What if we invent something that and we go into the place of the Bermuda Triangle? What if we find something that may help us in the future? And like how Tvisha said, there's been a bacteria has been found that can cure cancer. I also read about a duckweed that can help cure diabetes. And we can find many things like that in the ocean. We can start like an exploration campaign for the ocean, to explore the ocean. We can go in the depths of the ocean. We can explore, learn many new things from there. And maybe God knows who, maybe we can find something in the ocean that can help us in our future, that can really change the world.
Mudith, Itla.
So I believe that humans have great potential in the ocean. This can be said because we all know there have been mass extinctions in the past, and for all we know, how Earth was created was with water as its base. So the only creatures that have survived a lot, the mass extinctions from the dinosaur are kinds of fishes like sharks who have even mutated from primitive species such as megalodons. So the ocean might provide us key insights to understand how to survive future mass extinctions or future huge problems that we might face. Also, species in the ocean, for example, in space, there has been a bacteria called ES that's found on the planet. This helps us explore space and understand how there is a planet in which we can have an other life if Earth ends. But that won't be a necessity if we understand the ocean and understand how to save ourselves from future mass extinctions. Also, like Samaarth said, ISRO has launched mission called Samudrayan to help understand oceans. And I've also read about the duckweed, like Brishti said, that can help boost insulin production and cure diabetes.
Anvit Agarwal.
So I think the ocean can be vital for our future as we can start like constructing places that we can live in the ocean, so that instead of just trying to move to another planet and the risk the spaceships getting lost, we can move in submarines as they're already very reliable. And for as for living in there, we can use the oxygen which is already dissolved in the water and filter it like the fish do with their gills and get us oxygen. And also uh, oceans, the possibility if we can learn how to this, survive on other planets also using that. And yeah, that's all.
Ewan, Lech, Alves.
I don't think that there's just a possibility that there's something in the ocean that can change all of our lives. It is there for sure. Uh, there are a lot of things in the ocean which can help us, like as Mudith and Brishti and all said. There's duckweed that can cure diabetes, that can help cure diabetes, and bacteria can help prevent cancer. There are also numerous other creatures, like there is a species of flatworms which live in extremely high pressure at the bottom of the ocean and also near volcanic vents. And they get all of their energy from the high temperature volcanic vents that heat the area. And if we continue to find more and more things like this, there is something that's under the ocean that will help all of us, that will change all of our lives. And
Just Kothari.
I believe that exploring the bottom of the oceans is a necessity because we are all. It's said that the sky has been mapped more than the bottom of the ocean. I mean, you can go to Google Earth right now and you can check. It's such a low resolution, but if you check the skies, it's such high resolution images. I mean, why are we looking for exoplanets with different conditions like Earth when we just have the ocean right here? It's extremely high pressure. It's a different environment. Everybody's fixated on finding carbon-based life. What about silicon? So I believe a lot of these questions can be answered by exploring the ocean because it's a completely different environment to the species that are found on the surface of the earth, because the conditions are different, the atmospheric pressure is different, the materials found are different. Over there, the rocks are more magnesium is present, so maybe we find some life that uses the magnesium in order to for some of its processes. So we should explore a lot of the ocean. I mean, ISRO is also trying to do that, even though they are supposedly a space research for space research, but it's just as important as space.
Apratim. You can repeat your point to add on.
Yeah, I want like as Shaurya said, we can if we can colonize it. Like Anvit also said, we can colonize the water. Then we can like we can also that wraps up my point.
Like one more question from you.
So, as young scientific minds yourself, you must have special traits that differentiate you from your peers. So, how do you think these traits help you in your daily lives? Like, these may not be scientific related, but in other aspects of your life that may be non-scientific related, how do you think these traits such as curiosity, how do you think they help you in other aspects of life? Yeah, so basically, you're a young scientist yourself, right? So you have these special traits that help you understand science better, such as curiosity. So how do you think these traits can help you in other non-scientific related fields, such as maybe arts or commerce? In these other non-science related fields, how do you think these traits can help?
Anvit Agarwal.
I would think that I could use them in cricket. Like for example, suppose you're running and the ball it's swinging. You can calculate the way it's swinging and then catch it. That way, you can do the same for batting. It doesn't knock out the fielder. And it's your curiosity that will help you do that. Because if you're not curious, why would you even learn that? If you're curious, you would want to learn that and then use it. Yeah.
Did we answer your question?
Not exactly, because this is more science related, right? In other non-science related fields, in like your everyday life, like when you're doing homework or something, how do you think this curiosity helps you to do that task better than someone who may not have these traits?
What the next person? Just Kothari.
I believe the traits that I possess, I don't possess creativity. I cannot think of very creative stuff, but what I do feel like I possess is problem solving. I approach problems a little bit different, a little bit more different than my peers, I suppose. Like suppose I was in computer class one time, and there was this problem about making a pattern. So everybody was just kind of brute forces. I was trying to think, can I like loop it and can I make it faster? So I believe traits like that are very important to me, and I can use that in other fields. And also, I believe I try to understand, and I try to understand why something happens. Like for example, in physics, I would love to know why light behaves like a particle and a wave at the same time. But if you apply to geology, suppose why is rocks crystalline? Why is it in a lattice structure? So that makes me want to go deeper and deeper into a field and understand why things happen. And I believe that is one of my best traits.
Tvisha Jain.
My point is similar to Jess's. Even I think that my scientific trait would be developing an understanding on things. This can help me in multiple other areas, such as sports or math, where it can help me solve stuff without taking too long, and it also differentiates me from my peers because it allows me to become faster at anything I do and being more efficient.
Apratim.
In my opinion, I'm like a bit of the playful type. I like innovative objects and using them in a different way. So so I think this is a way, like if there's a circular object, I can like instead of turning it into a wheel, I can like use it like some gear or something that I can use to make another device or something. That might actually lead me to like making another scientific discovery, and that is I think why and that is like I can like that is my example.
Mudith Itla.
So I believe that science has always had a huge impact on non-science fields, and as for me, I believe that my scientific traits can help me accomplish multiple tasks not exactly faster, but more efficiently, and help me develop a deeper understanding on everything. For example, if I get a question and and while my peers just finish the question quickly and move on to the next one, I would delve into that question I wouldn't finish the question quickly, and I would understand the why and the how of the question. So I believe that science has helped me do that, and it has helped me develop a deeper understanding of everything. For example, if Galileo had believed what the orthodox principles of that time were, and hadn't questioned why or how how gravity acts on the various masses of an object, we would have never discovered the principles of motion as they are now. So that wraps up my point. Thank you.
Samaarth?
Yes, so basically, for me, I'm like the kind of type that wants to find out what things are. I like reading a lot. So, as Napoleon once said, give me 1,000 good men and I'll take over the world. For me, give me 1,000 good books and I'll change the world. So basically, I like trying to find out things, whether it's known to humans or not. I try to make my own meanings, even if I don't know the actual thing. So, but basically, I want to do everything methodically, not try to like rush it or do it my own way. Because the only way you can do something good, you do it by step by step.
Avyan, Mittal?
So, I believe few very important traits. They're not very special. You just have to work hard, and the main two things are discipline and responsibility. So you can like talk in class a bit, but then when they give you that work that you have to do at home, I can go play also. But then when I come back, I will make sure that I will finish it, or I can even wake up early in the morning and finish it. But I believe something where if you can just sleep 30 minutes later and wake up 30 minutes earlier just to study, then you all in a whole week you already get 7 hours more than everyone else.
Ewan?
I think that one aspect that one quality I possess that is lessened in other people is curiosity. Like, for example, if I'm walking somewhere and I see something that works really interestingly, then other people might just say, oh, that's cool, and just go back and never look at it again. But if I see it, I'll go home and I'll read an article and I'll try and figure out how it works so I can understand how something like that works. And I believe this can help me in other ways because it can make me do my work more efficiently, and I'll always be trying to find new answers and new ways to solve problems which are in my life or which affect everyone.
Brishti, Sharma?
I think a trait in me that defines me is creativity. Like for example, when I was a child, I saw this on a cartoon. There was a hovercraft that can move on water and land. So I know this is not possible, but I thought of why not inventing such a vehicle that can go in space. It can fly in the air. It can go in water. It can move on land. And even go underground. So why not design such a thing? So this creativity, like even my parents say this to me that my creativity can help me anywhere. For example, even if I'm in for example, I've gone for a job. I'm working in a very huge company and there's a problem in the company. And I can use my creativity to find something that can maybe help solve that problem. And this creativity can also take me through many places. Maybe it can just be like a simple thing. Like for example, I like playing basketball, and then I am stuck in a situation where I don't know what to do, whether to shoot, whether to pass to my teammate. I can just use my creativity. I can like do such a move. I can pass it in a creative way so that my opponent does not get the ball. And can I add a point on Shaurya's question? Like how for ocean exploration, like how Albert Einstein said, the ocean is a vast place and I only know one drop of it. That's the same thing for us with the oceans. The ocean is such a vast thing and we just know one drop of the ocean.
Anvit?
Yes, so back to my point, I would like to add that my trait is hard work. Whenever I get set on something, I don't stop. Even if it's very hard, I just don't stop. And yeah.
Okay, I think your competitive rounds are over. They'll compute the points. In the meantime, we'll take one more round. You can feel free and talk your mind out. Actually, when you participate in a competition, you should not forget that you are competing with others. You should never forget that because the structure of the competition may be a little challenge that you have to face it. Okay, coming to my last question. Do you think scientists enjoy humor? Or they are very serious 24 hours and 365 days? And number two, you also can answer. Okay. Number two, you can answer both, you can answer one of them, we'll listen to you as far as we have time. Number two, what do you think is the biggest impediment a scientist faces? Or you as a scientist face? You understand the biggest impediment, biggest obstacle that you have. Okay? Somebody. Anybody can start. Now give it time, he's ready.
I feel like scientists actually do enjoy humor because there are one of my two most favorite scientists. They may not be well known to everyone, but they were pretty popular. One of them is Richard Feynman, who is popular for his humor. And as he used to say, if you can't explain the concept to a 5-year-old, you really don't know the concept. So, and he also used to play bongos, the traditional drum instrument. And usually, the most amazing discoveries come through humorical, satirical conversations. Because when Niels Bohr and Heisenberg used to play table tennis, when they were playing, then they realized, then another scientist came in and was watching them play, and after that he realized, did you guys just realize you just made the biggest discovery of my life? So then that ultimately led to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which focused on how the slight changes due to air is due to many factors can cause huge huge outcomes.
So obviously a scientist has to have humor. It's like one of the traits of a scientist. Like you can't have one trait without another. Nobody can just be happy. Nobody can just be sad. Everyone has to have everything in the same amount. Like too much of a good thing is bad. So obviously that's one thing. So a lot of scientists actually did like humor and did not like humor. You can say take Sir Isaac Newton. He never liked humor because even if somebody slightly in a study disturbed him, he would get extremely angry for days on end.
For me, a scientist without humor is not a scientist. Think of a scientist who's only serious, he only does his job seriously. No fun, no laughter, no humor. So one simple example is Albert Einstein. So because he had so much work to do, he quite often, quite many times, he wore the wrong pairs of socks. Like on one leg he wore a blue socks and the other leg he wore a white socks. And when he went to work, he would see the children would laugh at him wearing a blue sock and a white sock. And then that became a part of his day. Like every day he was, even if he didn't forget, he would purposefully wear wrong socks to make the children happy, to be humorous. Yeah.
You see all of them having humor during this discussion?
I think so, yeah.
Only now you are smiling. When I was a child, that means you become very serious adult now.
Sir, I actually for a second.
Yes, don't worry, good.
Sir, I wanted to add one more point. For second round, Samaarth's project, like for mostly everybody's project, everybody was serious. That oh, what if I don't get selected for third round? And he was just like very calm, and then he expressed it through humor, and every teacher loved his project. They were all laughing.
I think that scientists they generally have a balance of both humor and seriousness. Like when they're in their free time, they could be humorous. Like as they said, the when the two scientists, when as Mudith said, the two scientists were playing table tennis. The third scientist came. Third scientist was not at the time studying; it was his free time. He was sitting there. So I think that. When scientists are not doing something important at that time, they will be humorous. But after they get inspired or after when they are hard at work and they don't want to be disturbed, then they're generally serious and don't like being disturbed or having to humor.
I don't believe that anyone will just work and sleep and eat and repeat. I don't think anyone is going to do that. Leave scientists. No one. And of course, all scientists are humorous, but they don't have to be humorous every day. Because most of the time, they can probably just be working on something, they'll talk about another thing, and then later on, they'll make some jokes. And the main obstacle I struggled with was time. No, wait, I struggled with time management. So, with MNL and all the work that they're giving, TBLs, I didn't always want to study. So I kept on taking some breaks, and then in the night again I had to stay up to do my work. So if I could have just managed my time properly, I would have been able to do everything easily.
Anybody else? Okay, please take.
In my opinion, a scientist, you can't just be like, I'll take for example Albert Einstein. He had a really big brain, and he had actually a very big brain. So and the doctors are actually worried that he might actually have some mental disease like ADHD or something. But he actually was very smart. But then everyone thought he was actually going to be very dignified, calm, serious. But actually he had a really good sense of humor, like Brishti told. Like actually, when we went for the curiosity field trip, like there was a picture of Albert Einstein making a face with his tongue out. It was really very funny. So the scientists are scientists, yeah, but they need to balance everything so that like they can enjoy their job. Like if they are always serious, like work, eat, sleep, and then repeat. If they're like that, then they won't be able to like enjoy their job. They need to have some humor, and that from my Thank you.
I would say that it depends from person to person. Like Isaac Newton again. So he was a duke at the same time as being a scientist. So he figured out differential and calculus while he was in his free time from being the duke of a play. I'm not sure, but in Britain. So again, he was a very serious man, but it again depends from scientist to scientist. Some scientists may be very serious, may be very dedicated in their field, might not crack a lot of jokes, but some scientists may be very casual, might enjoy their field and express it through humor. And a problem I faced during my when I was making my project, as Avyan told, even I struggled with time management. I was not. I had to work until 2 and the night before the presentation, just trying to figure out why the machine just wasn't turning on. It was just not recognizing the sensors and all. And I also struggled with finding a lot of documentation about the parts I was using because they are hobby grade, but they don't have a lot of information as it's not a very big field.
I I've read a lot of books, and in almost every book they say that scientists are quite careless and they forget their meals. They eat bad food, like stale food and all that. But I really don't think that's true because it's not possible for someone to be like to eat stale food and miss their meals and yet be so smart. So I think that the books kind of give us a different viewpoint, but all scientists are basically, they have to be humans.
I would also like to add that so if someone is completely serious about their job, it either shows that they love their job and they're doing with all the passion they have, or if they're very joking, they can also show that they enjoy their job and it's like a hobby for them. So it again depends from person to person, and some people might have a certain way that they work, and it's completely subjective.
How many of you have read the biography of a scientist or autobiography of a scientist? Read? At least read one biography of a scientist. Okay? Anybody else wants to share anything? All right.
What a fantastic discussion. The questions and responses have sparked from the time enlightening moments today. The moment we have waiting for has arrived. Now I request Tvisha to announce today's Mini Nobel Laureate winner and Chairman Sir to give the certificate.
Claps are for everyone because to reach here itself is a task, and it was very difficult for both of us to even award or judge the whole panel discussion. But like as announced at the beginning, there is a component from your first round, from your projects, as well as this, so it's a summation of everything. And at the end, I had to do some judging of numbers and figure out who would be that one person who just stood a little bit ahead of everyone else to be awarded the prize and the title. But all of you are definitely winners in our eyes who have been here, and a lot of you have many more chances to come on the panel again in future years. So without further ado, I'd like to announce that the winner of this year's Junior Mini Nobel is Just Kothari.
Congratulations to our winner, Just Kothari. Your achievement today is a testament of your hard work, curiosity, and determination. To honor the dedication of all our participants, I request Savi ma'am to kindly present certificates to our exceptional panelists. Each one of you elevated today's discussion, bringing it to new heights of insight and inspiration. Apratim from grade 5. Anvit Agarwal. Brishti Sharma. Samaarth Bhat. Tvisha Jain. Tvisha Jain, I'm sorry. Avyan Mittal. Yeah.
On behalf of everyone, I extend my warmest congratulations to our winner and all our outstanding participants. A special thank you to Chairman Sir, Sarvesh Sir, Sabi Ma'am, our judges, and our entire team for creating this opportunity for young scientists. A big thanks to our parents, mentors, and gear-ups. Your support and enthusiasm make such occasion possible. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Let us continue to celebrate curiosity and nurture the spirit of science. Your host, Anshulika Kanduri, and yours, signing off. Thank you.